Okay, good morning. We're going to get started here. Welcome to the State Board of Education Board meeting. I'll be chairing for part of the meeting. I'm Chair Huntsman. We have Trooper Horrocks with us somewhere back in here. Good to see you. Thank you for the service that you do. In case of emergencies, we have these exits. Exit the doors, hit the hallway, right, left, north, south, whatever works for you, and that's how you get out of the building. Also, once you exit the doors, that's where the restrooms are and drinking fountain. So we want to make sure everyone stays safe, and hopefully we don't have an emergency of any kind and have to exit. Want to thank everyone that's put together and supported us in putting this board meeting together. I was in here pretty early this morning, and this place was shining and everything was prepared, restrooms, everything. So thank you, staff, for making all of that happen. Let's get right to our agenda. Member Moss and Member Hart are not with us, but they're trying to join us. I know Member Hart is logged on because we had her this morning, but they'll be joining us electronically. Let's get right to our business. We'll start off. Member Earl, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll have board member message, Member Straight. Mike. And then try to have that close to if you can.
Okay.
You're doing awesome.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'll just give you the signal when we want to change slides. So we're going to look at a series of photographs. Now, don't get all tense about this. Relax, breathe deeply. This is not a test, but we obviously will want to find some meaning in this by the time we get to the end. And there's two questions I want you to look at is, what do you know in this photograph and what? And we'll do a little participation here in a minute. But let's go to that next first slide. All right, so study this photograph. So Board Member Earl, what do you know? What do you know on this? What can you see?
Can you throw your mic, if you would? Thanks.
Now, don't get into what you don't know. Tell me what you know first. Because initially we would go to, well, what don't I understand in this photograph? But what do you understand from this photograph?
There we go.
You are in.
There's clearly some baskets of something that people have collected and piled high.
Very good. Vice Chair Belknap.
There's clearly a flag and it's not laid straight.
It's hung up. How many stars are there?
48.
There are 48. So what do you know based on that?
So I know the time frame of this photograph is before.
Mike, will you
Alaska.
just-
Oh,
so let's,
sorry.
in this thing,
The
if we
time
turn the
frame
mics on.
of the photograph is before Alaska and Hawaii joined the Union.
Very good. That is correct. Which gives us a broad range. I'm not going to. So Board Member Hanson. What about the people in this photograph? Anything you notice about the people?
That's some very stylishly dressed women who have collected something, and evidently, looks like they're giving it to the military guy.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay. Now, Board Member Earl, I'm going to come back to you because you actually started with something that I want to come back to. Because you started with what you didn't know from that previous photograph. How does this answer part? Doesn't answer the whole thing, but how does this photograph answer that question about what you didn't know from the previous photograph?
I guess I'm assuming those are peach seeds based on this information. But I don't know
Yes.
if that's the exact, what was in the other one, but
Okay.
that's my assumption,
Very
based
good.
on what you're leading me to.
Yeah, okay. So those are peach pits. So let's go back real quick. Let's go back one. That's a pile of peach pits. Okay. Let's go forward now. And it appears that lots of people were involved in this. So Board Member Lear. Oh, you weren't ready for that. You know what? That's why we don't. Anyway,
It's that old sports trick of no eye contact. I got that.
that's right. But I knew you were there.
Yeah, okay. Ask me what? Oh, did you ask a question?
What do you know from this photograph in addition to the peach?
Remember,
pits?
Liv, will you use your
Oh, I
mic?
will, yes.
Thanks.
We know, looks like children were involved in this process and gathering these peach pits. And they're selling them, or they're using them for some kind of a purpose.
Okay, but you don't know what that purpose is.
No,
So what is that? Is that something you know or don't know?
I don't know what their purpose is. It maybe has something to do with if I'm extrapolating,
Don't go
maybe.
too far. Let's
Okay.
hold off on that.
Okay. No, I don't know what it's for. It looks like some kind of a patriotic cause, given the flag and the military person that was in the previous picture.
Okay. Board Member Hutchings, what do you know about these young ladies?
It looks like they're part of some kind of an organization from their uniforms.
Yeah. And we could speculate what that is, because what makes you think that they're part of the same group or organization?
They're cute matching uniforms.
Very good. I like that word.
I think they're adorable.
Me too. All right. So there's still things we don't know. Now, what is the main thing that we don't know? Go ahead, Board Member Cannon.
I would like to know how peach seeds will save soldiers' lives.
Ah, very good. Let's go another slide. Okay. Now, this doesn't necessarily help us, but there is some information that we now know. So, Board Member Davis, what do we know that we didn't know before? The other two photos.
Well, we know that they are going to be reduced to a charcoal powder and filter poison out of gas.
Oh, very good. So
It's a fine print.
Someone has good
If-
eyes.
I'm sitting very close to the big screen.
yeah, so stand up and point to us on the screen where it says that.
It says the U.S. government needs them reduced to a charcoal powder. They filter the poison out of gas and save our soldiers' lives.
So let's go to the next slide. All right.
That's a good-looking mule.
Yes, it is. And that mule is important enough.
But they have a gap.
They have a gas mask too, yeah. Now, question. Looking at this photograph, let's go back to the previous one, and then let's go one more. So it actually, peach pits were the main thing that was gathered. But cherry pits, any type of nut hull, like from walnuts or things like that. They were the same way. You could use it, but peach pit was the most vital product. Now, was it possible, or probable is a better question, is it probable that these peach pits, go to the second, two more, next one right there, so right there, were used in these gas masks? There is actually a clue there that tells us the answer is yes or no. Is it probable that those peach pits ended up in these gas masks? Well, statistically, it's not probable, but there's one thing that makes it almost impossible. Yeah, very good. Anyone, look at what those soldiers are wearing on their head.
Berets, the berets.
Which soldiers are these? These are German soldiers. The other photographs were Americans, but both sides used poison gas in World War I. Now, each one of those photographs gave us more information that created a bigger picture. Could we go past this? Could we expand this out into all types of different areas? Are there connections between all these different photographs? Now, here is the point that I want to make. As members of the board, there are so many pictures out there. Go to the last slide. Now, I tried to make this list to where I didn't try and put any, okay, what should go first, and should I change this list in order? Are people going to question this list? What did I miss? No, that's not my point. My point is this, that in life and on the board, there are many different stakeholders that provide us a different point of view, a different picture, and we synthesize those ideas, those concepts, and that's how we come to our decisions. And sometimes it's very difficult because we get honed in on just one stakeholder, or we ignore another stakeholder. And it's very tough to be the stakeholder because you want the person you selected to do exactly what you want them to do. But we as members of the board, we have to really focus on gaining the whole picture. And so that's what I'd like everyone to think about is how can we as members of the board gain and understand and bring about a more holistic picture of the issues that come before us. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I love teaching a little history lesson.
So we still saving peach pits?
You do?
We plant them and they grow in the canyon.
Oh, wow.
Are you collecting them?
No.
Okay. That's interesting history, though. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Member Straight. Next, we'll go to our education highlight. This is about effective educators and leaders, and we'll invite Ryan Bartlett, Director of Strategic Communications, and Holly Bell, Student and Family Rights Specialist. I'm not sure who's going to take point, but can we make sure the mic is on? Okay.
Good morning. My name is Holly Bell. I'm the Student and Family Rights Specialist for the Utah State Board of Education. It's great to be here. And I have the honor of recognizing two amazing Utah schools. I'll be recognizing North Sanpete Middle School in North Sanpete District and Lava Ridge Intermediate in Washington District. And before we show you the video, I want to give you a little context and background. You might recall that I gave you an overview of the USBE Equity Labs a few months back, and we had conducted Equity Labs in January, and this Equity Lab was focused on our strategic goal effective educators and leaders. And this goal focuses on ensuring each student is taught by effective educators who are supported by effective school leaders. So looking at this data, it reflects that students achieve educational excellence when they are taught by highly effective, fully qualified teachers. You may recall that Dr. Malia Haidt presented the 2021 Educator Licensing Report during the January 2022 meeting. The data that she presented revealed that 14% of Utah educators are not fully qualified. And you can see on this chart that 16% of middle school educators are not fully qualified. Previous research we have done has also revealed that students excel when they have teachers who are retained for 3 years or more at an individual school. This chart provides a breakdown of teacher retention in middle schools. Utah are only able to retain 57% of their teachers for 3 years or more. Next slide. Let's take a look at student proficiency. One trend that we see is that there's a steep slide in proficiency in middle school. This slide represents students who are proficient at the end of 5th grade, but are no longer proficient at the end of 8th grade. This chart provides us with a disaggregated overview of the middle school slide in proficiency on the RISE test. We're going to focus on a comparison between the overall average decline in middle school proficiency with the decline in proficiency in schools with where 45% or more of the students qualify for free or reduced lunch. For brevity, I will use the term FRL for free and reduced lunch. Next, I took this one out for brevity again. You can read that in the slide deck. In this slide, we are looking at a comparison between middle school math proficiency on the RISE test in schools where 45% or more are eligible for FRL against the average middle school proficiency in Utah. You can see that there is a percentage of students that qualify, or you can see that as the percentage of students that qualify for FRL increases, math proficiency decreases. There's a cluster in the upper right corner where 45% or more qualify for FRL and exceed the average proficiency rates for all middle schools. We affectionately call these our blue dot schools. So let's look at teacher retention and student proficiency. So this graph demonstrates math proficiency by percentage of educators retained more than 3 years in middle schools where 45% or more are eligible for FRL. You can see here that as teacher retention increases, math proficiency does as well. And look at our blue dot schools. And we see the same correlation in language arts and science. So the question is, what are these blue dot schools doing to achieve such excellent outcomes? So today you're going to meet two of our blue dot schools, North Sanpete Middle and Lava Ridge Intermediate. You can see on this chart that their percentage of qualified teachers and teacher retention exceeds the state average. These are both schools where 45% or more students qualify for free and reduced lunch. Both schools presented to our LEAs, our statewide LEAs, during the Equity Labs to share what they're doing at their school communities. So I want to show you what they're doing at their middle schools to achieve this educational excellence in their schools. I'll leave the time to them.
Where Lava Ridge is?
It's in Washington School District. Yeah, Washington County. Well, the lava, yeah.
All right, so my name is Jeff Erickson, and I am principal at North Sanpete Middle School. That's located in Moroni, Utah, and a part of a small school district called North Sanpete School District. We're our only middle school in this district, and we only have one high school that we feed into. We care about each other. We really share in each other's struggles, and we share in each other's achievements. I believe that our school district has had the best interests of our teachers at heart over the last 10 or 15 years, with changes in insurance plans and raises, cost of living. And I feel like our teachers feel like they have been benefited by that and appreciate the support to be able to raise their kids here and make enough money to be in a rural area. Lots of people are scared of this age group. Our teachers actually like them, which is pretty cool. The other thing is that they're passionate about their subjects and they care about improvement. You know, before PLCs were a thing, many of our teachers who were in their third decade of being with us, or the beginning of their third decade of being with us, were doing collaborative department meetings and cross-curricular meetings before PLCs became even a thing. Some of the staff members that I am their advisor or their principal, their parents were my teachers, or I have taught their students. So there's a lot of interconnectedness in the community because we're in a small place. We have had the older brothers and sisters of our current students, and we know their situation and can support them in those social and emotional aspects. It's a double-edged sword, obviously, when you know too much about too many people, but it's also a powerful influence to help take care of each other. And so that double-edged sword can be powerful both directions. And so in our educational system with our teachers and with our staff, we use it in a positive way.
I love how much the teachers care about us. How much the teachers are really funny and really nice.
I think, for one, the staff. The second is the students. They like to be here. It's a place that they feel safe and want to be here and want to learn. The teachers take and prepare lessons and stuff they need to have, and the kids are excited to accept it.
I think the teachers go an extra mile to make sure the kids know what they need to know, and they will help them with anything to get them to pass their grades and enjoy the school.
I like that the teachers are really easy to talk to and they're friendly, and if you have a problem, you can talk to them without worrying about anything.
All the teachers are good with you doing stuff that you need to do. I sometimes have to leave class early because it takes a while to get to my other classes, and the teachers are just okay with it.
I like the fact that all of the teachers understand their core. It's the single most important thing for student success.
Awesome. And why have you stayed for so long?
All of my family's here, so I went away to go to college, came back, wanted to help my community the way they helped me. That's why I've stayed.
I'm Principal Wade Jensen. I'm at Lava Ridge Intermediate School, which is in the Santa Clara Ivans area, just outside of St. George. And we are a 6th and 7th grade center, and it's an amazing school. We have the most wonderful faculty, community, and students, and I love being here. We work together as a team for every one of our students. We meet weekly and talk about students, about their problems, about the successes, about those type of things in these teams. And I feel like everybody's voice is heard. I feel like all teachers can tell us how they're feeling or what they're struggling with, and we as a team can support them and help them. The second thing we try to do is we try to celebrate teachers. We try to celebrate their successes. We try to let them know successes with kids. And then we want to make our environment, our work, our school, a place where they enjoy coming. It's little things that we try to do all the time where we feed them, or we, just little things that, some days it's a grind to get to work, but when it's fun and enjoyable and you like who you work with and there's a good environment, I think our teachers really appreciate that. And that's something we work really hard at here at Lava Ridge. As teachers work hard and enjoy what they're doing, then they see the success of their students. And that's done not only from the teachers' efforts, but it's involving our community, involving our parents. They're very aware of what's going on here. And with their support and with their help, we see great success. Our school is unique in that we have 6 feeder schools that come in, and we're quite diverse. You know, we have almost 20% of our population as English language learners at our school. And so that gives us another opportunity to get to know these kids and their families and their stories. And it's amazing. It's fun. Our teachers love it. And I think it brings them closer together and it makes them love their job even more.
School provides a lot of unique opportunities for our age group, for our students. So we have intramural activities, we do a mini triathlon, we have a fun run, we have students versus teachers assembly, we do sports and things. We have a full choir, orchestra, band, theater program with a musical. We just have so many unique opportunities that we don't see a lot at our age group that I think are really unique about our school, and we love to be able to support and provide those things for our students.
I like the teachers at Lovebridge because they engage us in our lessons and they're funny, especially Mrs. Lund.
There's just a good community and sense of family and belonging here, that anytime a problem arises, that we're just all willing to work together and work through the problems.
I think it's the creativity of us working together. We build off of each other ideas, and if one idea we can add to make it even more successful for our students' learning, we like to do that.
They're funny, they're nice, and whenever you're in a lesson, they'll always help you. If you need help, they'll be there right away. They'll always engage you in your stuff.
We do I-teams here, where we have a language arts and math person that we share a group of students, and that allows us to talk about those students and really dig deep into what their needs are.
With the kids, we do a very good job of identifying what kids need more help in certain areas, and that's something that's really a focus here at Lava Ridge, so I really enjoy that part of it.
I like teachers at Lava Ridge because they help me with what I need to learn, and they're super nice and they make learning really fun, and they're always super nice to me.
I love teaching here. I've been here about a decade and seen some comings and goings and things that we keep trying to improve to do what's best for each one of our students. One of my favorite things about teaching here is the team that I teach with. Understanding that taking care of your teachers is one of the best things you can do for the students.
Any questions?
Great presentation. Member Cannon, or is your light on for a reason, or?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. And Member Straight, did you have something?
Yes, point of privilege.
Okay.
I'm just so proud of North Sanpete Middle School. I was actually attended North Sanpete Middle School. My younger brother was a principal there for some time. But I was part of the class that was the last 8th graders who didn't become junior high students because they sent us to the high school. But that message, because I was brought back to my first few years of teaching by some of the things that were said, because it really needs that connection and that community of teachers working together, and that really encourages you to stick in there, because those first few years of teaching are tough. And fortunately, I had Mrs. Bertelson, who had put in 20 years, actually probably 25 years, and she helped me along. And the rest of the department helped me along, but we taught the same subject. There was no jealousy. There was no controlling of the curriculum. We just were a team. And I just love the idea that when teachers are retained and learn to the art of teaching, that increases student proficiency. And I just appreciate that so much, and that gives us really the foundation to say, what do we need to do to keep our teachers? And is it something external, internal? I think it's a little bit of both. Our job is a little bit different but boy, we need to have teachers connected together, working together for the common welfare of their students.
I'm not seeing any other questions or comments. Thank you, Holly. It's a good presentation and
Thank you.
fun to see. Thank you.